welcome everybody that join us today. That's pretty nice of you. You get a bit of people that hear the announcements for the first time before it's written out at everyone, so other people get pinged as well. Like classic. I'm gonna try and keep it relatively short in certain aspects. And the first thing is, as some might have seen, some might have expected, maybe not, maybe who knows, is that tech hubs will be disabled for the foreseeable future. So I'll repeat that. Tech hubs will be disabled.
Ladies
I'm
and
gonna
gentlemen,
do like a quick FAQ on that, however. Nothing from tech hubs will be added to the main game, if you're wondering that. So engineers, I'm sorry. Medics, I'm sorry. Etc. You will not see anything, in the game from tech hubs in the current iteration of it, at least. Tech hubs will return at a later date once it's actually set up properly and added and fixed. But that's not going to be for probably months, let's be honest. So that is the first thing that is announced there. The second thing is related to contributor / merge request and so forth. And that's gonna be, I'm gonna be very brutally honest here. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, contributors, but dev MRs will start taking priority over contributor MRs. And this is just because we don't have enough people to have a look at every contributor MR, unfortunately. So this will also means that, some people will have to wait straight up. On that note, of course, you can apply to become a dev.
Just quickly, would you be able to elaborate a bit? Just because I had a question earlier in DMs and that somebody wanted to kind of us to address this, but would you be able to kind of elaborate a bit on how the current MR system works in terms of like how developers basically not are assigned work, but kind of work on MRs and stuff like that, if that makes sense?
Yeah. The current developer system, and this is specifically to hinder burnout, because burnout is a very real thing for devs, as I'm sure people are aware. And it's that devs do volunteer basis work. They're not assigned MR. There's only a couple people that are assigned them from time to time, and they do their job. So, but I cannot assign them 80 plus MRs to review. That will be too much for anybody. So what happens instead is that devs do it on volunteer basis when they have time, because everybody has real life and so forth. They cannot dedicate as much time. And besides reviewing MRs, they also have their own project they want to work on. The issue is that dev MRs have taken basically a backseat in the last few months for contributor MRs, which actually, I will be honest, it shouldn't happen. And that's why.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks, man.
Essentially, dev MRs get reviewed because devs ping other devs and say, hey, can I have a review?
Yep.
And contributor MRs is usually if a dev particularly likes the idea or dislikes the idea, they will review and approve or deny it. And everything else kind of falls by the wayside because we have lives. I'm not saying it's the best system, but it is the system that is currently working for the dev team.
That is how it is. Now, mind you, mapping and spriting wise, most MRs get revealed pretty quickly. It is the code MRs that we are struggling with. Now, you can go and look into hashtag Townhall questions, and I'll start taking questions from there.
There's actually a thing to say before that, before we start taking questions. A little announcement in regards to the Discord and how moderation going forward is going to be. This has been discussed with management this past week or so, and there's been an increase in just general, dickery, especially related to homophobia and that kind of stuff, but just general dickery. So what's going to be happening is that the escalation system is being scrapped, and going forward, whenever you commit an infraction, you're going to be warned. That warning is going to stick for a X amount of time, which will be test driving what that time is for a bit, and then if you get warned for the same or a similar thing while that warning is still active, you get immediately banned, and you are banned until appeal. Now, you can appeal it immediately. You do not have to wait 6 months, but if the appeal gets denied, then you will have to wait 6 months from the date of the ban to appeal again. So yes, this essentially means that there is going to be stricter enforcement and more bans going forward. But on the plus side, you don't have to wait 6 months if you get banned. So there's that. We'll be testing and adjusting as needed, because essentially we want to see whether this works or not. Oh God, that's my phone. Yeah, as I was saying, sorry. Because there are certain differing levels of infractions, we might test a strike system as well. But for now, that's just how it's going to be.
The several people typing in chat is we'll just let those questions kind of flood in. But
Yeah.
no, I was expecting people to ask questions about what Lordington just said, but to kind of just reiterate it from a management perspective, this is kind of the way for us to make it so that there's a fair way to kind of appeal what's considered a ban that you want to dispute, but also kind of still having it in the way where we're keeping the Discord moderated and keeping it where it's, a safe place. And I think finding that middle line isn't something that you do overnight, and we can test it with strikes and stuff like that. And yeah, it's just streamlining it so it's fair for everyone. And yeah, even if it does sound like it's a bit harsher in terms of the escalation and the lack thereof to a degree, it's still a fairer system overall, I'd argue. And yeah, better for the Discord. We know it means this year's getting less. I disagree. Nanny, do you want to answer some of the questions regarding dev stuff?
Yeah, sure. I will state this first. There's probably a lot of questions. I'm gonna be selective in which I pick. I'm sorry, we don't have time to take every question. Well, that's the short gist of it. Now let's start from the top here and let's read them down. When will MPOC protection return? Not planned, I believe, Soldier. I don't believe you have any plans for it currently. There.
What? Sorry.
MPOC protection.
I'll be straight up. I don't know. Part of me wants to do it. Part of me doesn't want to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, if I keep getting complaints about it to the point where like MPs are legitimately unable to do their job, I'll bring it back. And I'm quite sick of the argument, well, the MPs are baiting arrests. No, I've played MP undercover. Like literally the other day, I literally told a Marine, hey, you broke a window. Can you fix that, please? And they told me to fuck off, and they just ran right to the dropship. So shit like that's going to keep happening, guys. You will see OOC protections back, and you can all complain. And I'm just going to say this is why we can have nice things.
That is life. Let's go for the second question from Dran. Is there any plans on adding more direction to development on CM? We see a lot of features get added, half-baked like TechWeb, lifeboats, etc. Before this, it was agents. I understand devs are volunteers, but so are contributors. Wouldn't it be better to have devs focus on things that get properly nailed out instead of everyone just seemingly working on their own projects? Or take one step forward and then step back right again. I feel like developers should have a responsibility to work together and work on actual, development plan / schedule. The game is open source now, and there's no shortage of contributors to just add random stuff in. Partly true there, partly not so true as well. Sure, we have a lot of contributors to adding stuff to the game, but that still needs to be reviewed, right? Like, we need people to go through the code and look at it and be like, oh, this won't break the game, oh, this will break the game, and so forth. Stuff that might seem very minor code-wise and see like, this is an easy addition, might actually break stuff, because beyond code is finicky like that. I believe there's a very good cause where, there's this time and date change, and that actually broke any mob spawning in. So that's something to keep in mind. When it comes to the direction of the game, well, honestly, it's just that, devs have real life, and when they work on like a major project with other devs, for example, tech webs, for example, lifeboats, and then suddenly something comes up and they have to stop working on it. That's the real cause of it. Unfortunately, that's the thing. And it's not funny, it's not cool, to be able to say like, hey, we have this new cool upcoming feature, and then as it's it's nearing release, something happens that hinders it from being fully released, and that sucks. That's the truth of it. Let's continue down the question line. Any update on lifeboats? I have to check in with Go Sheets again. It was last worked on a couple weeks back from memory. I need to double check because he's the primary dev that's working on it. I might just, the branch he has is of course public as usual, so I might just open it and post it on the main dev branches so people can see what is required to remain of the work, because I think it's 70 to 80% done. That's the short list of it. What are my thoughts on the dropship update MR? Rappelling. I think rappelling will be a cool thing. That's my thoughts on it. What's going to happen with the tank if tech webs are removed? Well, TLDR tank will be out of the main gameplay loop. That's a simple bit. RTOs will stay. That's correct.
Just to answer Maximus Rex question, quickly, Nanu, regarding serious MP question. Ever think about allowing MPs to be dirty? We'd love to do that. I know giving more MPs freedom to kind of be that foil to the Marine side is always what we want. The problem that we've got right now is that with MPs, it either seems to be two extremes, that they're either griefing the Marine side because they're going onto the dropship, going down ground side and deploying and kicking ass, or the opposite, and they're absolutely useless. So once we kind of find that balance, I guess, then you can kind of start building on the role and letting them play outside the boundaries. But hey, in terms of one-off rounds, if MPs want to help or pray and say, hey, do you mind if I'm dirty, I would encourage them to do so. And hey, we can maybe get some staff to encourage it.
Yeah, there you go. Let's see. Is DEFCON returning with the removal of tech webs? No, it is not. That's the short list of it. When will you finish them guide coding on the wiki? I mean, the contributor guidelines and the README. Like, if you look at the main page of the literal GitLab of CM, you will literally see that there are guidelines on it.
Someone as well someone in staff chat was working on a contributor's guide, like
For GitLab.
for
specifically.
GitLab, I think a few days ago. I think it might have been for GitLab. Either way, someone was working on it. So
Yeah.
there might be one on the horizon.
So I'm gonna post this image in chat for you people. If you go to Townhall, like the GitLab merge request, you can literally see that's the code guidelines there, and there's from there and downwards. You can see how it's done. It's supposed to be done. Let me continue though.
Thank you, Silencer.
And yeah, it's gonna be admin intervention if a round ends up lasting 3 hour plus or 4 hour plus or whatever, seems fitting for a round.
You can have an hour and a half long round that needs to be admin intervened and a nuke spawned or something if it's stalemate and dead. Especially like when the opposing kind of current rush state and the teams just rush, like sometimes it does need to be poked. But like admins usually get that right. And if sometimes they're not liberal enough, I know the minor event meme's kind of popular at the moment, but hey, there still is a role to do it.
Yep. Can we have an MR review role, like specifically just to review MR/bug fixes they will apply on the forums or something like that? This will have to be people that have contributed before, so they are able to do the job of reviewing MR/issues. How do I put this? Yes, but also kind of no, because then you would not with GitLab, because GitLab's current system is shit when it comes to permissions based. If we when we do move to GitHub, potentially that could be a potential thing. But here's the thing though, contributors approving all the contributor things code-wise, that's fine. But I will still require a dev to write off on the feature itself, if that makes sense. Because devs in the end have final say over what gets added to the game, and it's gonna stay like that. So yeah.
You go first, Nanny. I was just going to ask you something afterwards.
So once we get on GitHub, I can look into potentially creating that role. That might, basically only can add tags, because the current role and like GitLab basically gives you way too much access.
What I was going to say, Nanny, is your DMs open if people are interested in doing a role like that? Should they get in touch with you, kind of thing?
Yeah, but on the same time, like, if you want to be like that, it's kind of like, why don't you apply for B2B coder, right?
Come trade for CM.
Yeah, come code for CM, So you get to go into the code dungeon. Everybody else. What's the progress on Monkey's map so far, Mr. Monkey? Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I've got mappers block and I have no idea what to put in the top left quarter of the map. I was thinking either a flooded slums, maybe a water treatment plant. It's going to be an out of the way area that I don't expect much combat to be in, but it is an area that needs to be mapped regardless. So yeah, for those of you who don't know, I'm working on a tight quarters urban map.
Yeah, there you go. Now that TechWebs is being removed, will MOBA and maturity be reviewed next? I'm unsure what you mean here. If you're thinking about like removing MOBA or re-adding maturity, I will say no, we're not adding maturity back, because having to AFK for, I don't know, like 5-10 minutes to be able to play the game as Xeno is unfun. That's a short of it. It also made maturity, or with like stage, also made it a lot more harder to balance straight up. MOBA, it's staying as well. It's basically gives the Xenos abilities so they can play and have fun when they play. Will Attack Braver / Defcon return? Yes, in the future.
No, just a question earlier that was asked regarding the systems for TechWeb. they're all getting turned off, right? Like
Yeah.
that's the intended plan. So in terms of medic webs, engineer, like all of those, yeah.
Yeah, not
Yeah,
not
everything-
the current
There's
plan
like
is
2
that
questions, so yeah.
Everything's getting turned off, and certain techs may make a return as regular mechanics, but we haven't
but
nailed down any of them.
so for now, nothing will return. And the focus will then be on basically balancing out the main gameplay loop, you will say, and then see how techers will interact with that again.
You go first, Nanu. I've
Yeah.
got to think about this.
Sure. Let me just continue down the questions. Can you nerf parents? Mortar right now completely useless. There's all limited use pre-parents now, they're completely non-existent. Something. There was an MR up for this, but Stonkified took his leave due to real life. I had to close it. If you want to, you can look at that. That was intended nerf for parents and stuff. You can have a look at that. Ooh. Soldier. The soldier keeps saying he wants to remove the CO whitelist. Is that actually being planned? Do you wish to answer this?
Totally, absolutely, 100%, totally.
Can I comment on that honestly? Actually,
Sure.
so please do start pulling at my cord if I'm overstepping. But most people know that the CO whitelist is in a bit of a shitty spot and was for quite a while, and was all kinds of elitists and not such a good place. But the current management of the whitelist and the councillors basically got a preposition told to them that if you guys don't shape up and kind of organize yourselves, put rules in place, and actually self-police yourselves effectively, and make it not so it's such an elitist club and that it actually contributes to the community, then you'll survive. And at this point, I think it's the consensus of everybody that they have kind of stepped up the game, and that they are doing a good job, and that's kind of credit to Forrest and everyone else on the kind of councillor team. But yeah, I think COs are currently in an all right position along with the other whitelists.
I'm going to quote Batman. I'm not going to kill you, but I don't have to save you.
Yeah. Your fate is in your own hands.
Like if Nano says I'm getting rid of the whitelist tomorrow, I'll be like, okay, cool.
Yep. So remember to behave.
Dreven asked a question about roleplay. I'm sorry, Nanu. Just while it's on the top of my head because I'm talking.
Sure.
It's okay. Sorry. The question's actually gone, so I won't answer it. But basically, event. Oh no, reposted. Oh no, that's not it. Ignore me. Go ahead, Nanny.
Okay. I'm just continuing down like the list of questions here. Is Corset or Whiskey Outpost coming back? If somebody wants to fix it and rework it, yeah. But that's the tier they are. It's not like a major concern. Like not major concern, but it's not a priority at all. That's the word. Let's continue down. It will be just like all times, Jarek. No DEFCON, no TechCraft for the foreseeable future. When it comes to the map rotations, we might potentially bring the auto map rotation back for like 2 days a week, but it will need to be coded as usual. Continue down. I believe you answered this already, the MP question about being dirty. So we're gonna go past that. There's so much to see. No, my birthday not today. Thank you. My birthday is in December. That's all I'm gonna say. Every other day is not my birthday. Stop pinging me about it. I hate you.
It's not common knowledge, but Nanu is actually Santa.
True.
And his birthday is Christmas.
Because
I mean, I think he's got the tag and everything.
people are dread
I
reacting
understand
me on the question on Gertie. To answer the question in brief, because I've now got 9 reacts, and so presumably there's some kind of wondering of what's going on there. Gertie was permabanned for breaking the 18+ rules for non-consensual erotic roleplay, and they will not be being unbanned. That's it.
At least not for the foreseeable future. Yeah.
Oh, I'll also answer off unrelated to that. Regarding about, I don't know, 4 or 5 people now have asked about, can we have ice map? Can we have Corsat back? We hit on it in the meeting and talked about possibly doing a out of rotation map day once or twice a week. About as far as the discussion went.
Yep. So potentially then you'll get to see the classic map. The issue, or like not necessarily issue, but as long as they work on the server, we can play them. But if they don't work on the server, then we can't play them.
Personally, I'm not against working more on Corsat to bring it more up to date, but I still think it would currently work best in and out of map rotation because it puts a lot of stress on the server at the minute.
Yeah. But,
it's a big map.
To clarify as well, nobody on the dev team was against doing an out of map rotation day. It's just we changed subject without getting a hard yes or no to it.
Yeah.
But right now it's looking like yes, just somebody's got to code it.
Yeah. Drevin's reposted his RP question, which means I can finally stop sounding like a blibbering idiot. Basically, Drevin, we went too far the other way. Tried to basically go too far with Go Wilding, let it be a bit out of wacky, and that's where the whole minor event memes come from the last couple of months. But I think we have reined it in terms of when it comes to what events are okay, and staff like being encouraged to be creative again. And like we are having our fun ones, and like we've had in terms of the event roster that we have, or the event kind of logs that we have for the last couple of days and weeks, I'm feeling more positive than I was, let's say, 3 months ago, to say the least.
Yeah. Trying to find out where I was in the questions because guys, please only post questions in the Townhall question submissions and not like replies to people. Do that in the Townhall text. Thank you. When it comes to how will Marines then get more OBs and the rec budget without a DEFCON or tech caps, the short gist of it is that I will give Marines a couple more OBs at round start, just map them in basically. And the other thing is that when it comes to rec budget, nothing planned right now. Rec gotta be careful about how they spend their points. I'm fairly certain, without committing to it, that rec points have been the same. I have not been changed the amount you start with since, I don't know, ages. Maybe I'm wrong with that, but I believe so. So it will be just like all times, and people are able to manage just fine then. There we go. Veteran kit back? Probably not, because the Mark 1 is very strong. Currently, at least. Who knows? We don't want the Mark 1 to become a... Yeah?
Mark 1 got rebalanced to be basically the same stats as the Mark 2 with more ammo.
I think it's still... it has more AP. Monkey, a lot more AP.
And fire rate and damage are the same now.
Yeah, but that's more AP. Yeah.
More AP, more ammo.
Everybody knows AP just hurts Marines more than Xenos.
Mark 1 is very powerful with tech webs. You just get 100 rounds incendiary or cluster or whatever. So.
Yeah, with the conversion kit. Any way for Marines to have a tank? Was answered earlier. Are sailors ever getting added so there's more streamlined job for stock and standard RPM board like a regular boatswain's mate job or similar? That sounds kind of cool, not gonna lie. Who knows? But it's also kind of like an MTS, I would say.
Rank reworks.
True, rank reworks soon TM.
I'm gonna make all the COs captain, but like the Marine kind. Make them all O3s.
Silver bar helmets only, boys.
Poor people.
I was gonna say, Nanu, while the questions are coming in for town hall question submission, do we want to open up voice to the floor? Does anyone want to ask a verbal question or like have their 30 seconds in the spotlight?
I'm down if we can put a time limit on a question.
Yeah, I will keep an eye on time because we. Oh wow, request to speak. Kira and Lilitop already on the ball. I'll keep an eye. So if you do start getting a little bit lengthy, I will get on the bell, I guess. But Kira.
Yeah. And keep it to one question per person at a time. They can get back in line after one question.
Sounds Gucci. I can't hear you, Kira. I'm not sure if anyone else can.
I can't.
Yeah, Kira. Yeah.
Oh, can you hear me?
There we go.
Okay. All right. I would like to ask a question on, would we ever see a test run where we use the older code of CM as like maybe an event or something?
April Fools.
Yeah, April Fools.
That's usually the only time we crack it out is April Fools.
All right.
Takes
Thank
a
you.
good
That's
bit
all.
of work getting it
Yeah.
to compile just with new versions of Beyond.
I think that it is sheer workload. Like if we could get, classic CM code to work.
I was trying to remember the work I had to do for literally 2 weeks straight to get Sulak up and running.
Yeah.
For April Fools. So yeah.
Lilitop. I can never pronounce it.
Little Tip Top.
Yep, that sounds close. Lilitop.
Good evening, Twitter. It's your boy, Synth Senator. Hi. Hi. Can we get nail guns and wreck?
Sorry, what did you say? Name guns?
Nail guns
yeah.
and wreck.
I mean, they're
Nail
super
guns?
pretty please.
Yeah, I know they're awesome, right? But
Yeah.
the dev that
There's,
traded them
that
want
thing.
them to remain a map loot item. I'm sorry, Chief.
30-second MR. Surely do it.
Okay.
No one will
Don't
notice.
forget that.
There's an MR up
Yeah.
at the minute to make nail guns better.
Ooh, even better. Ooh, scary.
Oh yeah. Also something real quick. Synth can't currently make grenades or anything in OT. I think that's due to the engineering skill being low for some reason. By the way, why is that?
Bug fix. Go fix it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Specifically, that will apply to synthetic survivors as they have a lower level than standard synths.
Yeah.
And the Prophet Nanu said, "Go forth and code it yourself."
Yep. What
I-
said.
I can go beyond. I can do that. I can't do that.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna beg for it for 2 years.
Yes, good of you.
Issue solved. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, little tip top.
Synth best
Geek.
whitelist.
I will just say though, guys, going forward though, we will be keeping it to one question per person, and if you do start answering that second question, I will have to cut you off. Sorry, but Rat Pack.
Is he not here?
Rat Pack. Your speaking rights should be working. Okay, we'll move down the list. Chant Jello 1010.
It's working. Hi. Thank you, by the way. I just wanted to ask, over the past couple of weeks, actually, I think the last test was a few weeks ago, but with no comps, has there been more internal discussion in the development team, and I guess in between you people too, about the future of communications and maybe replacing it with a different system?
In its current form, no. I mean, I know there's some ideas to kind of cut off between ground and shipside and how the RTOs do that, but there's nothing decisive being put out there. And
Yeah,
I
so-
yeah.
TCOM's code is one of the most terrifying codes to try to deal with.
That as well.
In SS13, and it's an effort and skill issue to do anything with it.
Also,
And-
besides that, it's I wouldn't mind like testing it out. Where basically I just map out Deacom's crate tower thingy. See how that goes. But, yeah, maybe.
I know. I was talking to E-Money. I know Escalation has some sort of comm system which is directional based, and that simply looking at the code was a mental nightmare. So, hey, like we'll get there eventually. Sam, I think you're good to hop in. Going once, going twice. And we're moving
Right
down the
back
list to
again.
Dustin. Oh, Jevin got cut in line. Oh well.
Yo, what's up?
Nothing much you.
Can I? All right, can be heard.
Yeah.
Would we be open to trying, say, for a week, the captain colonel split of having a Navy CO role and then a field CO role, so different captains can roll without having to compete for each other. If one wants to focus on role play and doing stuff with MPs, while another wants to focus on, doing stuff with Marines.
So just really quickly, I think there's that was Jarek, I think, who was running that test earlier. It was during the event round.
Yeah, I think it was Auto.
Order, yeah. Sorry, my bad. Auto. And I thought it went really well. And I think going forward, we might do a couple more tests in one-off rounds, just in terms of thing. I'm not going to commit to a whole week or something like that, but it's similar to what we were doing in terms of those one-off comms tests. Simply because in terms of low pop balancing, I'm sure Nanu and Monkey can chime in here, but the idea of having that split roll on low pop could be a bit of a nightmare.
Not only that,
having
but-
one CO on high pop's already a nightmare.
Yeah, that's like I am certain this will show up if it was not like an event where one person, if it's not clearly defined, this is your responsibility, this is what you command over, and this is what you command over, then those two will butt heads definitely. I will guess. I mean,
Thanks, Trevor.
potentially.
All right, cheers for having us.
Yep. Cut you off before you finish. CM way.
So, my question is about round time, because I know a big part of Tech Webs was we wanted to hone in on, I think it was 1 hour and 30 for our round length. Is this target still the same? Will we see longer rounds, or can we see them? I don't know.
I mean, you can see them for sure. The target round length is between one and a half hour to like 2 hours. That's kind of like the target sweet spot.
I think it was a 3 hour rest in the day.
Yeah, there you go.
It's actually been quite good recently, the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, I will say, however, if that will ever happen on low pop, I do doubt it though. Like low pop is not something we can easily balance around.
Okay.
Thanks, Dustin.
Yeah.
Rat Pack, I don't think you managed to get in earlier, so... Oh, he's gone again.
Gets a second try.
We'll give him one more, then we might have to go to Ventress. Oh,
Okay,
he
wait,
made it.
hello? Can you guys hear me? Okay, that's how it works. You have to click the accept button. Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm like 80 years old. My question is more along the lines of whoever asked the question earlier regarding the admiralship / ship side role. My question is more lenient though towards the entry level position. So is there ever a plan to add an assistant level role to ship side functions? So like a sailor / boatswain's mate or anything in between? Thank you.
Sorry, I tuned out for a second. So reading a
Sorry. Okay,
message.
I can ask it again if you want me to, just to like clear it up.
Please.
Sure. So as stated earlier, there was the idea of a discussion between ship side command and ground command. you know,
Mhm.
like a battle hardened type of thing. My question is, we already have the assistant role, which is the basic squad marine. Do we ever plan on adding an assistant role to ship side, which would be something along the lines of like a boatswain's mate or a sailor? Like, is there anything that's going to be along those lines?
No plans for it, but I think it will be cool. It kind of like
Alright.
steps into what like an MD is doing though, so you know.
Currently, it's kind of difficult to get a role that would work well across the entire ship. I would personally like to see more in terms of like an entry level for each shipside department, but at the same time, cargo techs already fills that for requisitions. Maintenance is obviously, and ordnance is kind of engineering. We have the nurse for medical bay, and I'm adding an MP like entry level to practicing MP and learning it. Beyond that, it's not going to be very easy to add more fluff stuff without taking away from or otherwise influencing the round as a whole. So it's something that would need more discussion, I think, if it were to
Yeah.
be implemented.
Definitely. Just off the top of my head, shipside roles, you have, correct me if I'm wrong, please, and I expect you will, but MT, OT, Mesh Chief, Warden, MP, CMP, there's a lot, basically, like in terms of roles that detract away from combat positions in low pop, especially as well. That's
Mhm.
always the concern, that they're going to be player sings. So, yeah.
Well, thank you for answering the question. It's a pleasure seeing everyone here again. Bye bye.
Yeah.
Thanks,
See you,
Rat Pack. We're the last one in the list, so Ventress, if you would like to speak, not necessarily even if you have your question, if you just even want to necessarily put your 2 cents out there on where the community is going, stick your hand up. Ventress? Oh, he's gone. You got to click the accept button.
I believe I said this already, but any plans of switching to GitHub instead of GitLab in the future? Yes. But the pipeline needs to be like sorted out and get up to speed. Because fuck GitLab, hate that. And going to GitHub when we can. Yeah, ventures. Come on, question, shoot.
Yeah, thank you. I didn't want to walk over you. So
Yeah, all good, all good.
questions, questions pertaining more to like what I referenced to earlier about musical instruments and the like, on increasing the ability to do either passive RP or non-combat oriented RP. Predominantly, the example was musical instruments, things such as that within bartending. What are the potential things we're looking at down the road? Are there any abilities or things we can look at for increasing that aspect of gameplay, RP, outside of the realm of shooty bang bang?
I cannot remember why the piano was gutted in the first place. If it was for
It was
performance
lag and
reasons.
annoyance.
Yeah,
Right.
like because sound in Beyond is an actual travesty in how it works. Sound can create a lot of lag. I'm sure people are aware, like when an admin plays like a MIDI, for example, like the server lags a bit, all the players lags a bit.
The admin MIDI is mostly downloading it to everybody.
Yeah, exactly. But you also have to download everything to everybody in that local area as well that's being played, whatever that sound
Right.
is.
Yeah.
So-
So one of the biggest issues we have with sound is that I don't know if you notice, all of our sound effects are relatively short. Even the elevator music in Medbay, that it fades in and out, and that is because no matter where the sound is, or wherever the sound is when it first starts playing, no matter where you move, you will always hear it from that side for the duration of the sound effect. So I walk
That
these
is
are
cool.
in your ear, and we can't have boom boxes. The
Yep.
sounds and beyond are jank.
It's also why sometimes if you're moving very fast and a MIDI plays, a MIDI may just be stuck in your left ear or right ear because that's just how
Because
it
that's
works.
where it was when you started.
Right.
When it started playing.
So if the sound, like the instrument stuff, can be done like in an optimized manner, where it will not like detract to like the server, I don't want to say like health, but like the performance of it, then yeah, of course it will be cool to have instruments. But if it's gonna track for like the main performance, then it's like one of those things we have to unfortunately see us without.
Okay. And then the other aspects of passive RP was kind of tied into the same aspect of that as well. Outside of musical instruments, whether it be bartending or just other random stuff that might be implemented. If there's anything that you guys are looking at to do, was a
Something I
part
can
of that.
comment on is I haven't started working on it yet, and I'm not sure what Nani or the dev team's opinions will be on it. But I wanted to flesh out the current trait system quite a lot to let you kind of pick some of your background information that would affect the
Okay.
traits that you can roleplay based on, such as changing the way that you get languages at the minute, because currently you can just be a squaddy that has every language
No
in the
small.
game and you understand everything, which is practical, but it doesn't make a lot of sense. So what I was thinking was kind of a system where you can kind of pick your background, where you came from, your
Okay.
level of education, what you kind of wanted to kind of specialize in, which would influence language and stuff. But it's going to be something that takes a long time. It's not just going to turn up out of nowhere.
I may be looking too far into it, but something similar to like what they do with Yog Station and whatnot, to where you have a pool of points, advantages,
Kinda.
disadvantages, neutrals, positives that you can swap back and forth with. I think that would be I mean, I don't know what anybody else thinks. I think that would be amazing for like what you're talking about, fleshing a character out rather than just being, generic Joe Blow Marine, X 1, 2, 3 or whatever, versus having like what you're looking at. That would be amazing, I think. And I think a system like that would be extremely good, even, pros and cons and whatnot. And then, having the COs work around some disabilities with the Marines. I think that's a good idea. Something similar would be awesome.
Thank you, Ventress.
Yep. Thank you, buddy.
Sam?
Okay, I figured it out. Is there any plans to like nerf pylons? Because as it stands, it makes casts next to useless unless Xenos are pushing incredibly quickly.
Let me see if I can find the merge request real quick. It's closed, but I believe. Let's see. Yeah, there's a closed one. There's like a short closed one that just changed some stuff. If somebody wants to pick that up again, and they are free to do so.
Thank you. Is that it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Alright, sweet, thanks.
Thank you, Sam.
I'm gonna Townhall questions. I'm gonna grab some there. Mr. Frozen. Alright, expand analyst. Can you make items appear on the sniper helmet, please? As usual, any code /bug fix, I will guess.
Yeah, that sounds more like just when the sniper helmet was added, nobody bothered to add it to the helmet URL list. So, unless you're talking about the ghillie coif.
Yeah.
Just one for the staff side, Nanu. Memes guy asked, why are people told only things such as it has been handled, investigated when something is helped, when player reports on public notes, blah, 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 blah. Just on that one, it's kind of standard. It's always been standard procedure when it comes to the mod kind of guidelines that when you're responding to a kind of help and then disciplining somebody, you don't tell the other person, like the person who's helping it, that you're disciplining them. I know that we have the public reports and public notes system, and it's possible to go find someone's notes. But in terms of the kind of mentality that you're in the moment heated up, you've just helped someone, I don't think it's appropriate for the mod to then be going, well, I've actually just banned this person, and basically not necessarily kind of made it obvious that they've ruled one way or the other. But I think staff should be trying to maintain that impartiality. They can, like, it's pretty, there's a difference between going and saying, hey, like, you're in the right, we've made a decision to punish someone and they've been punished, and just palming it off and saying it's been handled. I don't think palming it off's the right thing to do. But in terms of saying, oh, this person's been banned for 3 hours, and like I've talked to them, I've warned them, I've noted them. I don't think that's the kind of extent that it should go. But yeah, in terms of people just going, it has been handled, and then not actually doing anything, that's not very cash money. Does that help, Meme Sky? There's Dreven's got his hand up for another. I'd like to speak.
Yeah, 1 second.
Yeah, all good, Nanny.
Just going down the list. Any plans for removing Neon here? No, not currently. I'm sorry. You still get to have your super awesome blue and green hair. Was in charge of feeding the server hamster. I mean, that's Jamie, till there. Sometimes the server has died recently, unfortunately. And, it's been looked into, but it's not an easy cause to discern. So that's the thing. Getting first contact and high roleplay rounds added as a selectable game mode in the regular vote queue. Not on the current plans, no. And also, as much as people love to talk about first contact, I don't believe it was really good at all. It's good if you're like new or you haven't done it in a while, but after the first few times, it gets boring to say, "Oh, it's a red dog that kidnapped my squad leader." Because you cannot say runner. Yeah, the red dog kidnapped my squad leader. Please help.
Oh my god, the red dogs. Oh. We did a like expected contact a few test rounds a few weeks or a few days ago, time relative in lockdown. But it's all the same things. It's, oh my god, red dogs for 3 rounds, and then everyone's like, oh, this is stupid.
Yeah.
Was there any more in the channel that you wanted to quickly get to, Nanu? Because we have 2 hands up.
I'm going through it. And the plans above the HPR, and I mean, it's not a priority, so no. Sorry. HPR is kind of like in that spot with certain other things where it's like, yeah, where you can like buff it potentially, and then it can become like giga strong, or then if you bring it back into, then it gets overshadowed by the other guns in the game.
Yep.
Can we bring back a robotic limb around start? No, there's currently no plans for that. Any plans to remove permanence? No, stop asking this question. Permanence is not going to be removed. I'm sorry. I believe this is a thing that's required for the game to be fun. Yes, I'm sorry. If you get kidnapped, that's kind of you out of the round, and no Xeno wants to stand AFK on top of you for 5 to 10 minutes to make sure you don't escape. That's just boring gameplay for both sides. It's better you can salt in these shots, is my honest opinion on that. In dev opinion, are fire stats for chemicals proper? Not sure what you mean by these questions. Like, do you mean like, like the fire damage specifically, like fire, like the length of it? A bit unsure what you mean by this. Will there be a rebalance to flammables? Most of fire grenades are useless. Any particular mix is weak. Pure mix are extremely limited. Something. What do I say? As with any OT or chemical or research stuff, I'd rather have something a bit too weak on that side and way too strong, because players are very good at not necessarily exploiting the game, but finding the most optimized
Optimizing
pattern
the
really
fun out of it.
quickly. Yep, and remove the fun out of it. New Xenocast, Charter / pre-mobile Crusher strain. As I said, they're working on the Charter / pre-mobile Crusher strain. It's no longer with us, unfortunately, but the MR was made, and the code is in a closed MR. So if somebody wants to pick that up, they are free to.
Please pick it up. I really want that strain.
Yeah, there you go. Just like reactor rework when that will be awesome, but not a priority as it currently
I
stands.
know
But
Dean was kicking around the idea of doing that, but
yeah, but I do think that like having a proper like engine room, because I worked on a ship, so I think it will be cool myself. I like that idea a lot.
To talk as well.
Can remove smart guns and night vision to encourage smart guns to play smart and not point man. Smart guns should be covered from the backline using other marines to light their path. I mean, potentially. Not directly opposed, not directly for it either. Should the smart gun is a damage buff to compensate one of their good traits being gone though? No, because the issue is that you put like 2 or more smart guns into the same place, they have IFF and the Xenos cannot do anything against it basically. That's why the damage is so low on the guns, because Marines will inherently just go into a murder ball in like 90% of all rounds. Can we get oof as a pain sound? Like, somebody give me the OGG and let me look at it. Not promising because I cannot remember it or I've heard it. I believe we have one.
they want to add Roblox sounds to CM.
I think
Oh my
Sammy
god.
I'm
jokingly.
gonna go ahead and say probably not.
I think Sammy
Yeah,
already
sorry.
jokingly did it, and the answer was no already.
Yeah.
It was one of the
I'm
sounds
going
that.
to invite Top Hat to talk.
Yeah, of course.
Good, he probably needs to.
Brush off the cobwebs.
Yeah, no, sorry. No oof sound from Roblox.
You meant to tell people to talk to you if they want to be wiki helpy people.
Yeah, help out Top Hat, help out Muffin Man on the wiki. They do
Come back and do
awesome
your
work.
bit. Come back. Top Hat. No. Ah.
Can we make a ping system like Apex Legends? Unfortunately, no.
This is not much of a question. This is more of an announcement from me, if you don't mind it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go for it, Muff.
Yep, as I have basically pinged everyone in Wiki Help or Wiki Work or whatever it was, I am officially going on a net-long vacation for a year. So I won't be doing any Wiki work for basically a year, which is more or less me retiring.
Yeah. There you go. Everybody give him a salute.
Yeah, just a heads up, like the 2 people that like have just kind of jumped into this voice chat and just been like, "Hey guys, wiki stuff." Like they put more hours in than most of the staff team combined, so like fucking good on them.
Well, me and Top have been okay. I think nearly 80% of all of the wiki edits is between both of us, me and Top Hat. The rest is from you guys. We've been doing all of the work. Well, 80% of it.
Hey y'all,
I've been making you guys icons.
CM community, improve those numbers. Join the wiki team today. Cough cough.
True.
Yeah, that's basically it. I'm dusting off in September, or at least the middle of September, and leaving the wiki to die, more or less, until I come back from the summer. That's basically it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we also have backup, so if you do screw up, we can just back it up.
Thank you guys. Nanu, we've had 2 people with their hands up waiting for a little while, and I think one of them
Let them wait. Nah, it's fine. Pull them up.
deprivated, so I'll get Dustin out of the way first because I think Carl's got a big one. You live, man? Hey, Dustin.
Yeah, I had some lag there for a second. I'm gonna be totally honest. I forgot my question.
Understandable, it's
Oh, good,
fine.
dude. You got one on the spot, or can you come up with one?
I can come up with one on the spot. I know you guys are really busy, so it's kind of messed up to ask, but is there still like the workings going on medical overhaul?
Yeah, it's full software, optimistic to Bannigan. There is currently working on it. I believe there is still actively working on it from last I've seen. So yeah,
Okay,
no,
cool.
no date on it, no timeline.
All right.
Yeah.
All
Oh,
right.
Carl.
My big question is about engineer balance and how, since Netcades and the general changes to Cades, engineer as a role has become a lot less fun to play because of how weak your Cades are and how Rec has to just buy tons and tons of metal to even make a proper fob, and then that fob falls to trapper boilers in like 90 seconds. And because of pylons, you can't cast them or get them to go away. So, what are the plans for fixing engineer and Cade balance?
I know that Cades are gonna see like a numbers overhaul. So I'll say that right now. When it comes to engineers as a whole, however, there was a lot of stuff planned for it, honestly. But unfortunately, the 2 devs that were working on it had to take their leave due to real life as well. So nothing came of that. But when it comes to Cades themselves, yeah, they will see changes.
All right.
Yeah.
Is there any other questions that people had in terms of sticking their hands up? Oh, or there's one in the chat. One in the chat.
The waits expectantly.
There's no one sticking their hand up. I think there's a couple more in the submissions. I think they're all...
Yeah, more than a couple more, but
yeah, more than a couple more. I'll just do the one that I can see in front of me, which is rewarding Marines for good RP to encourage roleplay. There's ways that admins can reward players for good roleplay. One is encouraging organic roleplay, 2 stuff like cookies and other kind of small kind of baits and rewards. But in terms of meaningfully rewarding people for like good behavior, I don't think that's something that we want to get into. Like something like a karma system.
Like an anti-token or karma system, no,
Yeah,
because I remember I'm not certain, maybe I'm wrong here, but I believe Paradise had one, and I'm fairly certain I heard that people just stick to like their meta groups, cliches, whatever, and just like plus ones each other. Yeah.
Oh no, it's really bad over. Like it was, they cleared it and tried to fix it up. But
I
in terms of
discussed this with Soldier, and we basically both came down to the opinion that while it would be good to have a system like that, it would be very difficult to police it and keep it from devolving into meta groups. It just gives stuff.
Or wait, mod, I have 100 karma. Why are you banning me from proper escalation? Please no. That's why I'm highly against it.
So I'm not for it either. So there you
go. On the topic of kind of staff-related roleplay stuff, we won't be having dedicated event mins. It's been asked time and time again. Events as well. They're I know they might feel like a chore, but they are ultimately a reward for good performance and taking the time and dedicating it to putting the hours in on the server. So yeah, if we let everyone just have fun in small events, they wouldn't really be events.
Yeah.
Soldier, you got anything on that?
I mean, the thing about events is people kept complaining each should be lore friendly, and I know the big thing now is people are like, well, it's lore friendly, but I miss the funny events. I have no issues trying to bring back like, okay, we can do some non-lore events, but they'll be very rare, sparingly, and they're going to be like high quality.
Yeah, there you go.
And honestly, like I said, right now I got a week and a half to go for my test, and that's going to decide my future. So pretty much I'm on autopilot when it comes to CM for the next week and a half.
Good luck, soldier.
Good luck. Yeah, true. Best of luck.
Yeah.
You'll don't forget to wish soldier good luck.
When it comes to adding these education, I have a passion to create drone, music, background, and sound noises in my free time when I have nothing else to do. I want to know if an idea to create a thread on forum can dump all my like sounds, noises for free users by developers. Is it worth leaving? If you basically, I recommend. I don't know if you know how to create an MR or not, but of course, if you create like a forum thread and dump them there, that's also easy. But remember to write that, hey, we can use it, if that makes sense. If you do, because adding more sounds to the game, like sound fictions, sure. I will, of course, state that if they will be used, I cannot promise. Like, that's just the gist of it. And if you're wondering if, like, hey, something might need a sound or not, I recommend just like reach out to either me or another dev and be like, hey, does anything need like a custom sound? Does anything need a new sound even? And here it is. Yeah.
Carl asks, why do we have no comms events, which is literally just grief a single side? To be really blunt, man, when people set out going, oh, I'm going to do a no comms event, the intent isn't to grief a single side. I know at least for me, when I was running it, it was because Jessa was like, oh, no comms could actually be feasible, and we should actually like look at this and explore it. And it was quite unfair to Marines, I'd say. And sometimes they got some balance, sometimes they didn't. But at the end of the day, like, it was testing it, and we were doing it with kind of a research guaranteed goal. But in terms of why can't we have no hive mind events, because no one's had the balls or the creativity to do it. It's a lot easier to get rid of comms than it is hive mind.
I think that as well, but also like scenes are a lot more reliant on having decent communications because they're a lot fewer.
But I mean, the other thing is Marines with no comms, they can still use RTOs like the old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
They also statistically win more with no comms than with comms.
True. I just grew up in the one murder ball again.
Exactly, Carl. It's no hive mind event is dumb. Therefore, we will not do it. Whereas,
yeah,
no comms event based.
Question for me: am I going to rewrite Marine Law again for the 15th time? I have no plans to make a major overhaul to Marine Law. Hell no! Like, I believe Marine Law overall is in an okay spot. I'm not gonna lie. It's edge cases that occur, but overall thing is fine. And if people complain about the timers for the laws, I think they're very, very fair compared to in the past. I'm just gonna put that out there. I think assault was like 30 or 45 minutes.
Put that out there. If I get promoted and I have to resign right before I quit, I'm making OC protections as a fuck you.
I think you mean weak, but okay.
No, I've sent you a DM.
Ooh. Good follow-up question from Forrest. If somebody gets assaulted, but the victim says it's fine, aka not pressing charges, should the MP be, have to enforce it? In the current ruling, yes, it's they have to, but I might see about changing that because I believe, letting the victim of crime be able to like decide if they want to, press charge or not.
I mean,
be, good.
In real life, I've had people shot, stabbed, raped, and they're literally like, "Oh, I don't want to press charges," and they sign a form, and that's it. So it's
but that's because the U.S. law system is dumb.
Just as an odd question on this, and I've always had something that's been always the big technicality, and where you hear Nano and talking about assault, what meets the definition for ill intent? Because I've had like at least 2 MPs this month like facts about it. So answer it for me.
How I will answer it is what's the purpose of you hitting somebody with the intent of like basically harming them? Then that's ill intent. Okay? Does that answer it?
It's like if I throw an object away and it hits somebody and that was an accident, that's not ill intent. That's whoops.
Yeah, exactly. It's also why you have manslaughter and murder as two separate crimes. Murder is like, yeah, I meant to murder this person. Manslaughter is like, I did not mean to do this. This was a terrible accident. I'm sorry.
Well,
There we go.
you guys can be my criminal defense next month in my trial. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, all good. Cults. For events only, we'll have a new Xenocast on cults having potential for the round server. Issue with anything that goes into like human with human is that players are very good at managing to destroy and hold around, if I can put it that way. Like, for example, UPP, ERT or something occurring shipside or anything else can sometimes make entire CSC and occasionally medbay and rec lose focus on their jobs. So currently I don't see it as a feasible thing to have like a cultist on the main crew without it spiraling into Agents 2.0 without staff oversight.
When will Spooky Turn Up finish that work so we can move to GitHub?
GitHub soon, TM.
How do I
One
invite
day.
Spooky to speak? Spooky.
I think we need to request first.
No, you can just invite them.
Oh, okay. Wait, does Spooky not approve? They should have.
Hi, Spooky.
Hello?
Hmm.
Can you hear them? I cannot.
That wasn't as climactic as I'd hoped it'd be. Thanks, Spooky.
I
Spooky's
need to
dead.
continue down.
Oh, he needs to plug in his mic.
Any plan for rework specs? It would be cool if we could make specs into like these small fire teams. Like, they have to set up something together, work together to do something. So that would be kind of cool. Yes. So maybe it's not a priority, however. Planned for FOB defenses. There was a plan, but as I said, a dev left us working on it. So no, it might not see fruition, unfortunately. Will sentries ever be unnerfed? I don't know. Number balance change, potentially, maybe not. Issue with sentries that you could have so many in a close proximity to each other, and they will shred everything. People remember like 4 comrade sentries on old SD. That's like killing a queen in like 3 seconds. That was like with maturity and the queen being ancient. Good times.
R.I.P. Comrade Sentry.
Hi.
Sweet. Hello. Is CM-SS13 still a thing? SS14 is not being worked on at all. From CM, sir, that is. Let me just perfectly clear there. And the reason is that last time, this is a couple years ago now, I believe, we basically crashed their servers at like 30 or 60 players. So hopefully, maybe in the future, if they get the stuff rolling, if they get optimized, etc., then yeah, we might look towards it. But it's not in the plans at all currently. Nerf Queen remote building, yeah.
So now I do have an announcement that now I have a moment. It had to do with Muffin Man. I know he was talking. If there's anybody out here who does wiki work, Muffin Man is going on an extended vacation because of college, and Top Hat was helping out in the summer. I reached out to people on staff. They want to take Muffin Man's position, and nobody wants it. So if you really enjoy doing wiki stuff and you can become a part of staff, but you're not really staff per se, and you are interested, reach out to Muffin because we're definitely looking for a new head wiki maintainer.
You need good English, guys, like proper grammar and stuff.
You
Get
get
around.
you get to be on staff but have no time to run events, and also you get to be in the dev channels but you don't really get to do anything.
Yeah. You get to see.
Well, the thing is, they can, like, believe it or not, the wiki maintainer can run events. It's just that Sergeant Muffin Man chooses not to.
Well, I mean, both him and Penguin were too busy.
I'm sure both Muffin and Penguin would like to run events if they had the time and they're committed into, but hey.
We need more female screams. Men get way more when somebody creates them and merges them. There you
go. Dustin's put his hand up again. I'm assuming he's remembered his question from earlier.
Yeah, sure.
Dustin.
I'll take a question meanwhile. Plans for Queen, making Queen more tactical instead of frontline independent. Yes, that is the plan. What is the stance on high locations being a screen and a half away from the LSET? I mean, no. Like if you sit right outside of where the Marines land as a big bad, the only like place I can see that occurring naturally is big red LSET 2, but otherwise no.
One second, Dustin. It says you have been invited, so you got a little icon next to you. I've just done it again.
Continuing down the road, Spooky Donuts asked me, when will Spooky Donut finish their work so we can move to GitHub? True. When will they, Spooky? Spooky is dead.
We got him
This
in
will
here
not
for this
happen.
30-second voice clip.
Yeah. He's an inanimate robot.
That's tricky.
The honor guard MPs get punished if they get lost and end up fighting without the CO, only if they make no effort to return back to the CO, if that makes sense. But and if the MP like loses sight for like a certain amount of duration, they should just return to the FOB, honestly. I wait for the CO there.
It's based on intent. If staff don't think
Yeah.
their intent was actually to return to like the CO or a secure location, then yeah, they might get punished. But if staff believe they've made their best effort to actually do what they need to do, then no, they'll be fine.
Yeah. It's not your fault if you get ambushed by a lurker and a runner along the way and had to fight them off.
So,
Dustin,
I got it to work. And I remember my question now. So this is for kind of like, this was an issue I had, and it's for everyone else's benefit who's listening. How liberal do you want people to be with admin help? Because I've been in some sticky situations and then been pinged and they're like, you should have just admin helped. And I have like a predisposition to not want to bother you guys. So I guess, how often is it okay?
You will never be yelled at. You will never be in trouble or looked down upon if you admin help what you think is a rule break. Now, if you shitpost an admin help or you spam admin helps with like something different, you'll get us slapped with an auto warning. But we'll never shit on anybody because they reported this or reported that.
Most you'll get is ignored. But even that's usually polite.
When in doubt, it's always to your benefit to ask, because the worst that's going to happen is somebody will say, this isn't something we deal with. Making an inquiry is better than either A, leaving something that should have been dealt with unpunished, or taking things in your own hands because you're not sure if you can, and then finding out that actually now you're in trouble. So if in doubt, just ask.
All right, that helps. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Little tip tops, little tip. Like I can't pronounce it. I'm not sure what I'm
Little
doing.
tip top.
But, yep, little tip top. So it is little tip top. Monkey, you weren't just throwing me like a dumb stick.
Nah, man, read the letters.
Yeah, I would say that, people might not have skipped certain questions. That's because they won A, already been answered before, previously, or B, because I don't believe the question is something I want to really go into at the current time, because we don't have anything to say on it, if that makes sense. That's why. Also, don't have time for every single question, unfortunately.
All right. This one is kind of a mod question because I am a mod. I get a lot of people saying, "Hey, I was an alpha private and I, slapped an MP across the face, and then I ran away and the MPA helped." Basically, I just want to boil it down to, so I don't ramble on. How far do we take the IC issue? Because I know that seems like a meme for some people, but if if you're someone who did something stupid in game, the MP is going to try to get you. But then it turns to that point where like the same alpha private will do that all the time, every round, and the MP says like, "Come on, this is kind of getting ridiculous." So how far does that IC kind of border go?
I mean, staff retain a general judgment to be able to say that this is no longer you role-playing in the round, this is you trying to cause issues for the sake of causing issues, at which point you can deal with them in an OSC manner. But
It falls under the being a dick rule. Basically, if you keep fucking with the same MP or the same player over every little thing, and staff are smart, staff know when you're trying to fuck with people, then staff can say, "Yo, knock it off."
All right. Okay, that's it. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
I don't think
Yep.
there's any more voice ones. Yeah, there isn't.
Okay. Something trapper boiler, something Cade, something Cade gets a number change, and with that potentially a number change from boiler / trapper. But mind you, trapper was made specifically to combat Marines Cade hugging and holding these mega phobies. Why was the fatty removed? Because fuck the fatty. It's a buggy hell mess that will obliterate a screen-wide area and kill everybody in it. It was basically way too much power, and there was a good amount of images that showed us the PU buying like 10 fatties per round because they didn't need to buy anything else, because fatty was the dedicated best equipment to use constantly. So the fatty is not returning, no. Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up soon. Over, it's like 1:30. It's getting close to
It's 4:25 here.
Yeah, it's time going for like 1.5 hours. We're gonna like wrap it up.
Oh, I got a
Why is
question
better
for Frozens.
than is? Yeah.
His Frozens, are you still wanting to do an Australian one later?
The reason why I didn't end up going announcing that is because half of the Australian players I know turned up for this.
Okay.
And what I was
Yeah.
thinking of doing RE Australian Europe time zone is we might run one a little later in the week, solely because I don't think I'm going to be able to get up in 12 hours.
Cool.
So, in total honesty, that's on me. Yeah, Nanu, do we kind of want to do the whole big Dear Princess Celestia moment?
Sure, I guess. Yeah.
Dear Princess Celestia, what happened in our town hall?
What happened in town? Oh, we talked about so much stuff to see. But no, okay. So I'm gonna run the TLDR here. It's gonna be pretty short. Tycreps is being disabled. Nothing from Tycreps is going to be added to the main gameplay loop. We're not going back to DEFCON with it either. Keep that in mind. That's the current plan, at least. When Tycreps will be disabled? Within a few days, probably. If not even today, we will see. I need to look into the code for it. Maybe a contributor can even disable it properly. Mind you, it's disabling it, not removing it. Okay? Queen remote building. Well, with disabling the tech hubs, that should, not be an issue. Hopefully, we will see.
Soldier,
Also-
are you still alive?
No, I'm dead on the inside.
Did you have a TLDR that you wanted to from us? I don't know, staff side of things.
I mean, generally, it just seems like every week in this community, it's what are we mad about? Because literally, it went from we hate MPs to we hate staff to now what's today people angry about? Oh, today everybody was angry about COs for some reason.
It's what day of the week is it? Sunday. Sundays is we need to get rid of the CO whitelist day.
I mean, I really don't have a too long to read. I mean, the big thing I would say is we killed the bad events that people were complaining about, and I think things are going well. I'm waiting to see how the surgery we work does and see how long the rounds will go before I start getting Grim Reaper to do the RP standards again, because the guy's kind of gotten like disillusioned, and so have I. But once the game gets back to that like 2 hour, 3 hour round mark, and you can actually go back to the ship to role play, I'm probably going to talk to Grim Reaper about doing the standards that, okay, if you're private, you can do the dumb frat boy big chungus shit. If you're the CO, you gotta act your role.
Rank-based roleplay guidelines, that makes sense for people.
So basically, get over the hump, and from there, see where we go. Which is, I think that's a nice way to look at things,
I mean, realistically, I can't punish the player. Well, not punish, I don't want to say. The way the state the game is, it's like people have to find ways to roleplay, and I don't want to shit on that, I guess. Because I know I keep joking around about the OOC protections of MPs, but I understand that players are bored and they're doing stuff with MPs. I understand there are some MPs who love it, and I understand there are some MPs like, this is bullshit, I don't want to play MP anymore. Yes, I have a Metal Gear Solid codec. I'm awesome.
Soldier, I'm trying to sneak around.
Soldier! Soldier! Soldier!
All right.
Um,
On that note, shall we close it up then?
I think on that positive, happy note.
Yeah.
Oh God. First things first. Townhall question submission needs to close. Forgive me.
You get 30 seconds to add a question in there.
Oh, it's too late. It's already gone.
Oh, never mind then.
I'm so sorry.
That's fine.
So the people typing a question, I'm very sorry.
Any plan to add rules to counter Xeno meta rushes till they are staff online at the server at the time? We'll have a look at it and decide what is and what isn't. There we go. That's a fine question. But yeah, thank you everybody for coming today. It's been wonderful as usual to talk to you, to hear your words, hear your questions. I am sorry I didn't catch every question, so I didn't answer every question. And that's because, well, look at the time, 1.5 hours. That's why I can't answer every question, unfortunately. So yeah, we will see, what entails the future of CM. We will see as the round goes on and the round number increases. Frozen thoughts?
100 people came out for 3 in the morning my time. Not sure what time it is for you, Nanu, and I think it's like 11 o'clock Soldier.
8 p.m.
8 p.m.
Yeah.
Soldier, what time is it for you? / American Monkey Fist, I don't know. But
It's 1:30 in the afternoon.
1:30 in the afternoon, and we got 110 people to show up and talk about Space Station 13 and Colonial Marines. Thanks all for coming.
Yeah, don't you
Top
people have
hats.
jobs?
Yeah, guys, have lives.